Alexa Bliss just posted something very interesting that caught the fans' attention, so we'll see what's that about. We'll also check out the latest for Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and more. Starting things off with Alexa Bliss. One of those most talked about things with Alexa in recent years has been the idea of her wearing a mask. It was a big topic of conversation back during her early days with Bray Wyatt, and it's a topic that has popped up several times since then. Alexa even wore an entrance mask for a short amount of time back in 2022, but it was a simple mask and wasn't really a character-based mask. Then just earlier this year, Alexa did the customization to her own t-shirt, which added some Fiend-like elements to the Lily face that was on the shirt. That made a lot of fans freak out and wonder if Alexa wearing a Fiend and Lily mashup mask was a possibility. Well, there's once again something new that Alexa is wearing that sure does look like it'll be a great concept for a wrestling mask for herself. The customized jacket that Alexa Bliss just wore on SmackDown featured a very eye-opening design on the back. Featured on the back of that jacket is Alexa's face. She got an evil smile on the left side of her face, and just the right side of her face is masked up in a Lily-themed mask. There's stitching going down the middle of Alexa's face that separates both sides from each other. One half is Alexa's face, the other is Lily's face. Lily's side features the blacked out mouth and the black button eye. Alexa's hair on the design is still blonde, but it looks like more of that yellow blonde that Bray Wyatt made popular with his look for The Fiend. And even though it's just a design on the back of her jacket, it's insane how much of a great mask design this could turn out to be. You would have Alexa keeping one half of her face revealed, but the other half is literally Lily and how she has come to life to take over and corrupt Alexa's mind. Add the hair that looks like the Fiend into the mix, and you got yourself a pretty scary looking mask and entire look overall. Alexa is pretty much completely normal right now in this current era, but there's a lot of signs and indications that her character can easily go dark and evil again in no time at all. Those signs obviously include her current appearance and attire. Alexa is still rocking the Bray Wyatt tribute jacket that includes lots of nods towards her time with Bray Wyatt and that evil persona. The other hint is that Lily is still very much around and is still a pretty important figure for Alexa Bliss. Alexa is still bringing Lily out for every single one of her entrances, and Lily is all over Alexa's new merchandise items. So the fact that Lily is still around means that Lily can really be brought back to life at any given moment. Lily may be a pointless doll at the moment, but we saw just how powerful and evil Lily was herself back in 2021. Lily did a lot of evil things to help Alexa back in the day. And something they had Lily do in the past was hide in the background of backstage segments with Alexa's rivals, listen in on them, and then make her way back to Alexa to tell her everything she learned while spying around backstage. Lily was definitely more of a character herself back then that impacted Alexa's storylines. But nowadays, Lily is just a doll and just a merchandise item. But with Lily being a part of that mask design and still technically being on television right now, who knows when Lily could revert back to her old self and start impacting the stories in some major ways again. It could probably happen at any point. Another sign that Alexa could be corrupted is the fact that it has happened in the past. Just look at 2022. Alexa was perfectly normal the same way she is right now, but Bray and Howdy started targeting Alexa through a bunch of different methods and tactics, and they started getting inside Alexa's head and triggering that evil side to come out. So when they're ready, they can surely do something like that again. Alexa can be perfectly normal, but if Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six start stalking her on SmackDown, Alexa may start entering those Wyatt-related trances again. And it's something that Braun Strowman explained perfectly. He said when he was there sharing the locker room with the Wyatt Six, he can feel their energy pulling him in and bringing him to them. So maybe that's the exact story for Alexa Bliss. She's trying to do her own thing, but that Wyatt energy is just pulling her in and she can't fight it off forever. She's going to eventually fold and let that Wyatt influence win and take over. Even with the new Horror of the Wyatt Six experience in Universal Studios, Alexa Bliss plays a role in that story, and she's wearing her current day attire. So just another small hint there about Alexa's potential affiliation with the group, and how that could convert over to television one day. As of right now, Alexa and Charlotte's unity with each other is extremely tight. There's no signs of their partnership falling apart, no signs of the Wyatts stalking Alexa, but that amazing design on Alexa's jacket definitely sparked some fan conversation for seeing how a new side of her evil persona could look like in current day. Alexa and Charlotte are currently in a battle against Chelsea Green and her entire group. That is a pretty fun rivalry, especially because the odds are stacked against the defending champions. It is a 3-on-2 situation there, so the numbers disadvantage for Alexa and Charlotte adds some intensity there. But even after they get through with Chelsea's team, there's a lot of great options for them to face. Kiana James and Julia are heating up as a duo, so maybe they eventually come for Alexa Bliss and Charlotte one day as well. So definitely keep your eyes peeled on Alexa Bliss and any more hints and designs she puts on her wardrobe. A big update recently dropped regarding Liv Morgan. Ever since Liv Morgan went down with her injury, one of the biggest suggestions from the fans was for Liv Morgan to remain on television and be used in a non-physical role in order to progress the storylines with the Judgment Day. It's something that the fans have been asking to see for a couple of months now. But according to Sean Rossap of Fightful, it's unlikely that Liv Morgan will be used in this way for a handful of reasons. First reason being that it ruins a potential big return spot for Liv Morgan. If Liv remains on television throughout her injury, it won't feel as special and as big of a moment when she's finally cleared to compete, because we've been seeing her already in a non-wrestling role for months leading up to it, so it would take away from that big moment. The other reason is that they allegedly don't like to use injured wrestlers on television because the clock on the talent's contracts are running, yet they can't actually use the talent to their full capability because of the injury. But if a superstar is completely removed from television during an injury, the talent's contract could be frozen for that time that they miss, and the clock will start running again once they're fully active and brought back. So that appears to be the two major reasons why we won't see an early non-wrestling return role for Liv Morgan. It's in order to save that contract time and to save that special big moment of her first appearance back. So given this piece of information, it looks like Liv Morgan truly won't be seen on television again until early 2026. After all, still a couple of months to go until then, and we'll have to see where the Judgment Day story is at by that point, and where Liv Morgan can fit back in. Rhea Ripley recently went through what sounds like a horrific fan experience, and she shared it online. According to Rhea herself, she says she was absolutely mobbed by a big group of fans that were like a pack of rabid zombies. Not only did they mob her, but Rhea says they pushed her up against a car door. Rhea said she wanted to be treated like a human being, or else she's going to truly have to start acting like Rhea Ripley, and no one would be getting anything. And literally just earlier that same day, CM Punk took to his Instagram story to send out a message to everyone not to touch strangers. Punk didn't get into much detail besides that message, but that message appears to allude to the idea that Punk went through an unpleasant fan experience as well. Fan behavior has always been an issue for the superstars. A lot of people forget that they're human beings as well, and they don't enjoy being put in these horrific situations. So hopefully these public service announcements by Rhea and Punk bring some change there to the fan behavior. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.